Hello again, Greg here from Excellent English, and this is yet another one of my stories from the Thumb Adventures Volume 3. The title is The Grain of Sand. I remember so many years ago now as if it were just yesterday, but in fact thousands of years had passed. The blink of an eye for me. I knew for a fact that there were so many things on Earth that came and went. The humans had become quite entertaining for a while. Then they started warring against one another, and basically I just lost interest with them. Between you, the reader, and I, humans are only interesting when they do things for no personal gain. Anyway, I seem to be drifting away from the main reason I am making a note of this. I noticed things gave me a little more thought. When I mean things, I mean the inanimate. Not your regular chair or spoon, but rather things that become things. They end up having a use, a life, so to speak. Now that I mention it, let's have a look around. What's that over there? A set of pyramids? What are they for? Never mind. Too big. And they'll be around for a long time. Something smaller, I guess. What's that large wasteland over there? Ah, a large desert. I know exactly what to do. You. Who, me? The smallest grain of sand spoke back. Yes, you. I think I will have lots of fun watching what you do for a while. But I'm just a grain of sand. I haven't done anything important in my life. What do you expect me to do? I won't be watching you all the time, of course. I have many things to do, but I will check in on you every once in a while. Oh, okay then. I'll come and check in on you later, I said, and left it lying there. I came back 10 years later, but couldn't find the little guy. I shouted out loud so that it could hear me. Then, very faintly, I heard its voice. Over here. It was about 1,000 kilometers away on the far side of the desert. I swapped places and saw that he had come up against a river, the Nile. Oh, thank you for coming back. I was afraid you were going to get washed away. Oh, thank you for coming back. I was afraid I was going to get washed away into the river. I have been stood on 1,000 times and once got stuck for a short time between the toes of a slave. Very smelly and not the best place to be, I can tell you. It sounds like you've had an adventure, little one, I said, and watched a little longer. Just as I was about to leave, something happened. A young man jumped off a large boat and landed right next to the small grain of sand. He stooped over and passed his hand through the loose sand and dropped the handful into a glass bottle. Let me out! I don't want to stay in here. I can't breathe. Oh, stop complaining. You'll be fine. Have fun. And I will see you later, okay? I said that and left. I must admit that I got a little distracted by many other things. Technology was breaking out and the humans found many different ways of hurting themselves. The variety of colors I had put on Earth wasn't seen as something beautiful, but rather it was judged and segregated. Not what I had in mind at all. Many from one large continent where life was simple and fun were taken across the sea to another large continent where everything seemed so time-consuming and dirty. Oh well, I suppose I had better let them get on with it. I wonder where my grain of sand is. I searched for a long time and looked everywhere, but I couldn't find my little grain of sand. So I had to go back to where I saw it last. Ah, there it is, I said finally. The bottle was taken around the world. Hey there, how are things going? Oh, it's you again. Well, guess what? I have seen some of the most amazing things all over the place. I'm on this amazing trip on a ship going to God knows where. Where have you been? I don't know. Oh, sorry. I do know. Oh, well, that's difficult to explain. I actually was a few hundred years in the future. I just came back to see what you were doing and where you were going. I told it the truth because really there was no real problem telling a grain of sand what I was actually doing. I continued. I couldn't find you, to be honest. Oh, so isn't that great? Now in the future you lose me. I will probably end up at the bottom of the sea somewhere. Ah, I'm so sad. It's unbearable. I paused the grain of sand there and told it that I would fast forward 100 years to see where it ended up. There was an attack on the ship and everyone died. But the small bottle of sand was admired by the pirate captain and placed in a pouch, which very shortly came into the hands of a young woman, a nun. She held on to it for many years as a keepsake from her pirate. She eventually died, but something of my grain of sand must have been powerful in its own right. The nun died, but her body was purified and became a thing that was unbelievable, uncorrupted. I followed the grain of sand some more and realized that it was handed down from family to family. It was loved and cherished by so many people that when I spoke to the grain of sand, it answered me with so much love in itself that it asked me for something. Do I have a soul? Because if I do, I want to go my own way again. I have so much love inside that I feel like you. I understand how you see things, and I think it's time for me to give rather than receive. Where do you want to go? I asked as I took it from its bottle and lifted it high into the air. There! The clouds parted, the sun shone through, and a black sandy beach sat in front of crystal blue waters. Leave me there, and I will be the happiest grain of sand. I would feel uniquely fortunate. So I did. I left it there amongst the millions of other grains of sand for the centuries to come. And it seems like it has done a great job. The sun and the sea have made the Fortunate Isles, the Canary Islands, loved by so many, loved by its people, and loved forevermore. The end. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little story, and as you've probably realized, it's a Canary Islands story. That's where I live, in Tenerife, and it's a little bit of a weepy love song, love story, more or less. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so see you in the next video. Bye. Remember, subscribe and click the bell.